just like those inmates have a right to hear me, if they deny my books, even though I didn't order the book, I have a right to distribute as the author, right? I have a right to be heard. That's the First Amendment in a nutshell, right? You got a right to speak and you have a right to be heard. It goes both ways. So even without that due process, now they have to explain why. What was their legitimate government reason for denying the book? And well, that's going to be, I assume, well, we don't want to be sued. Well,
yeah, what are they going to say? Right. How are they going to answer that?
Yeah, it's not. So we have a right to access to courts. Every American does, right? And you have a right to pursue grievances. And so that's not a legitimate thing. So anyway, I'll be going after that. I'm sure they'll take it. I'm sure they'll take it off the banned book list right away.
Now this just took place. Cause you just got there. You just got there. So you just found this out. Like that means they just did it, or what?
No. I had, there's people down, I just got here, but I know a lot of guys that are already here for years, you know what I mean? When they told me when I got here, they said that my book had been banned. They knew the Hawaiian guys, because like I said, that my law book's been around, you know, it's got a little bit notorious, I guess, I don't know. I can see why the first one, I mean, yeah, I meet people from, people coming to my state in Idaho, and they come to time and they tell me about when they were in Utah or when they were in whatever state and they were using my book, you know what I mean? So now my first book, Battling the Administration, on the cover, it's got an upright fist like this, right? It's got an upright fist, and it's got a handcuff, okay? And hanging from the handcuff is the scales of justice, right? So some guy came out of Nevada and he said that they were having problems in Nevada getting that book because they didn't like the cover art, right? So I don't know what the association. So this is that, you know, that kind of resistance.
Yeah,
thing, right?
that's what that means. Yeah.
So it's tied to all kinds of things.
Now maybe you could change it. Would you change your cover, or you're not gonna?
I did change it. No, in the second edition, I put the Statue of Liberty on there with behind prison bars. Okay. So that's not associated with any specific group that might be using that symbol. So the upright fist, I can see that being associated with the group. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah, I'm kind of wound up about that today. So I found out about a couple days ago that Hawaii found my book. So I'm in the process of trying to get the actual list, the banned book list from the Hawaiian inmates. I got to get that, and we'll settle out. We'll have a legal letter sent to their attorney general's office, and they're probably the director of prisons or some appropriate designee. Same as what you would expect, a cease and desist, you know. So a law book that describes how you gather evidence and prosecute a lawsuit is not something that can be banned, but it's not the first time. So I just heard about this, and I said they denied due process, and they're supposed to give you a notice, supposed to give publishers notice that these things are going to be censored or whatnot, and give you an appeal. And there's a reason for that. So other states have done that. So like Pennsylvania, Florida, several, and they'll explain what's going on, and then if we just submit, they just say, well, this is what's what. I can tell you, I think we got one out of Pennsylvania, and they had some software read the book, and they banned the book because they said it was discussing sovereign citizenship. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Anyway, my book doesn't talk about that whatsoever. It talked about sovereign immunity, which is a legal doctrine that prevents people from suing the government in most contexts, right? And then it talked about citizens suing their own state under certain. Anyway, so some software just happened to read those things together. Yep. They connected the two words. So we sorted that out. The state gave us notice, and we said, no, this doesn't make sense. And they said, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we're sorry. We'll make sure your book is good to go. And that's the point, you know. That's the point of due process. So the fact that Hawaii didn't even give me that courtesy, they've already violated the Constitution, you know. So the 14th Amendment, right to due process. So, so I'll take a look at that. I assume they'll pull the book from the ban list right away, but depending on how long it's been banned, I feel like I need to cop a couple of bucks, because I don't know how many books I would have sold, and how many guys needed the book. You know what I prevalent in prison. Mine is one of the cheaper ones that you can get. It's designed that way. It's inclusive, but I try to keep the price down too. You know, you can get a law book, but you're gonna pay $50-$80 for it, even as a prisoner. And so I try to get the book to. So that's something new that we're doing too now. Is that I've developed. We've kind of rebranded. We're trying to develop a better foundation to market these books. And my website, meisterarchive.com, was not set up yet, but we're going to be setting up a fund to where people can donate to send the law book to guys. I get letters all the time from guys that aren't getting medical care, or they're locked down in ADSEG and they can't get a grievance process and they need some kind of legal help. I'm not a lawyer. I can't give them legal advice. You know what I mean? I can publish a book about general theories, but I can send them the book, but I can't tell them what to do in their specific cases. You know, and I just don't have time for that. But I can't. As much as I'd like to be able to do that, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? It's just no time.
You said inmates wrote you from the hole. You said how happy they were.
From the hole?
Remember you told me that guy wrote you from segregation and said, "Thank you, man. Your book helped me," or something like that.
Yeah, we do that, man. So once in a while we'll just send them the book. We'll just send it to them. But the production on those things is expensive, man. You know, $15 to get one of them printed. Plus shipping, you know, so we're not making money off this thing, not really. We just kind of break even, you know. It's more of a hobby. It's more of a hobby than it pays for its expenses a little bit, you know what I mean? And it takes money to run websites and network and do things and deal with distributors and all kinds of stuff. So we're trying to change that now. I have other books. We're going to see where that's going to go. But they're all focused aimed at prisoners, getting information from prisoners in like digestible, compact ways that suits all facility security restrictions and all that crap. And I'm not the only one trying to do that, but we're going to do the best we can. We can get a lot of hurdles, just like this. Hawaii arbitrarily put the book on the ban list. So that's where I'm at right now.
So people wondering why it's 3 states there, correct? Hawaii, Idaho, and Arizona.
No, Montana.
My bad. But you're in Arizona.
We're in Arizona. Yeah. Now there's other facilities. That's just this facility. I'm in like some kind of giant complex. Okay, this prison is its own little prison, but there's a bunch of these little prisons right here, man. They got all different states here. I don't know, but we're not in the mix with all these other ones. I don't know what all states are in all these different facilities, but I'm in some kind of weird county where they've got tons of these facilities built everywhere. I don't know if some of them are Arizona prisons or if they're all private prisons. But,
now I know that. Pinal County, they had 60 Days In was on there, and on the top of that, Lake Erie here is Core Civic. We got out of hand and they put us on the news. It said Lake Erie back at it again. It showed them marching us across the compound, but they brought 30 people from Arizona. They had the kangaroo hats to block the sun out. Big, stocky, mean-ass dudes. They got them motels in Conneaut, Ohio. They came up here to work. They would leave the motel, ride 5 minutes down to Lake Erie, and come in and boss us around all day. So I know exactly what you're saying.
It's a thing, dude. This is like, this is a pretty good example of like what the prison industry is doing. They create these villages, and they have this little ecosystem of people who come here and work, and they can have like kind of an extension. So where I'm at is a little out of the way. I'm outside of Phoenix, like maybe 10 minutes or something like that. Sometimes prisons are way further out of the way, man. And they'll support these tiny little dying towns, you know. At least for a while, and until they use up all that. Prison sucks. Prison's terrible, man, and even for staff.